All right, so we are going to jump right in, and each of you is, uh, uh, you know, kind of just going along with your lives. When I would imagine each of you. Again, this is 2017, so you've got by now you've got smartphones and everything like that, and maybe each of you has like a special burner smartphone that's just for Delta Green, and it's been just quiet for a long time. I'm not like weeks, months, maybe even years. And all of a sudden, each of your phones go off and you get the call. You're needed to come back in. Something's happened.
Time to
And
stop sniffing glue.
you got to stop sniffing glue.
Right,
And
hey,
you're
honey, hey.
and so your new handler or the handler for this operation is Agent Janice. And Agent Janice, she calls each of you in. Let me pull up my notes here. And she summons you to a small office that's basically been set up as a false operation. It's a CIA field operation office, but it's not actually a CIA field operation office. But Delta Green's arranged for that as basically a cover story and to kind of keep prying eyes away. And you're called into a small town outside of Yosemite uh, Park to get your briefing. And you get no other details initially. Just come to this office, Yosemite, be here in 24 hours or less.
Done.
Dunzo.
I get a bus ticket and head in.
Bus ticket, living the good life there.
Uh, he's gone. Where before he was like that sort of debonair 1980s like special agent looking guy, the suave picture. Now he's like mountain man, been living in Appalachia.
Okay.
Yeah, now he's got like the beard's grown out, the hair's grown out.
See, that'd be kind of cool too, because like you all may not have seen each other for years,
Possible,
possibly,
yeah.
or even likely. So have any of the rest of your characters gone through any like significant like physical changes? Like, do you picture them differently? How they look? Compared to the last time you guys were on an operation, because you may have done different Delta Green operations in the years between this, but maybe this is like the first operation where all of you have specifically been pulled back together again.
Yeah, no, my guy hasn't changed at all.
It's exactly the same. Love it.
I totally expected that.
Absolutely no change.
I tell you, Agent Jubilee, he's got like you can see he's got a scar going across his eyebrow. That looks quite deep. But...
Very cool. Very cool. Anybody else?
Dr. Jackson was 47 when we played last time, so he's now 67. He's almost 70 years old. So I looked up some actor ages just to sort of give me a ballpark. So he's between like George Clooney and darn, I had the word the guy from, it'll come to me.
I mean, because George
Jeff Goldblum is like in his 70s.
Yeah.
So he's like,
yeah, because I mean, George Clooney is like representative of what the average male human being looks like well into their 60s.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
I can't wait to turn 60, so I look like George Clooney.
I have to justify
what happens when we
my
all turn
scores.
60? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you look like George Clooney.
Yeah,
Well,
it's the only thing that makes sense with these stats. So
fair enough.
that's the way it goes.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm probably pushing 6. I think I'm pushing. I think Eric's pushing 60.
That's crazy how old your characters are compared to the last op.
Right.
Yeah, Shifty's gone 29 to 49.
Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty much still that sort of mustachioed Mexican guy with the big hat. And,
Nice.
Yeah, his eyes might be a little bit redder. He's seen a little bit more of the desert.
Gotcha.
And a lot of sleepless nights. But yeah.
think Jubilee.
I
probably
think all of us can agree that none of our characters have slept very well in the past 20 years.
You guys are all just like bloodshot,
Yeah.
drinking lots of coffee.
Borderline alcoholic, if not full-blown
Yeah, yep.
functioning alcoholic.
Hand shaking, just chain smoking cigarettes. How's everybody doing? I'm doing all right. Doing good. All right. So you guys get to this small office. All of you come at the prearranged time, and Agent Janice brings you into real simple conference room, nothing extravagant or fancy. Let me get a little music going. And Agent Janice is a woman, very buttoned down, very professional looking, hair pulled back into a tight bun. She probably looks like she's in her late 50s, kind of a no nonsense sort of demeanor about her. You've never worked with her as a handler before, so she's new to you, and you're all new to her. And she, after everybody's seated, she points out, there's coffee over there on the other table, and she says, "All right, team, listen up. We've got a bizarre situation brewing in Yosemite. A child named Brandon McGill, who vanished in 1980 at the tender age of 6, has inexplicably reappeared. The strange part? He hasn't aged a day. And that's why we've brought all of you in. Another one of our agents, Special Agent Jace, working undercover as a child psychology expert, has been able to stall the FBI's response. She's bought us, at best, 24 hours. We need to capitalize on this window of opportunity. Your mission is to infiltrate the Rancheria Falls Trailhead Ranger Station. Discreetly interview the rangers, any relevant park visitors, anyone who might have seen anything out of the ordinary. Look for any signs of supernatural phenomena, any sort of anomalies, any hint of the otherworldly. You need to examine and interview Brandon McGill and determine as best you can, is this really him? And how is he still 6 years old? Now, to complicate things, the boy's parents are on their way and could be arriving anytime. So please keep in mind, this isn't just a simple missing persons case. We're dealing with something inexplicable, potentially something far more sinister. Be cautious, be vigilant, and be prepared for the unexpected. I have a case file here for you, and she slides a manila folder with everything they've been able to pull together on this case. Just slides it down the table to all of you. I'll give you some time to look over this case file. If you have any questions, and then you need to get on the road as quickly as possible.
There is so
okay,
much
now you should see handouts. And the only thing I'd ask if you could just pull them up as I talk about them. So the first thing that Agent Janice gives you are your directives. And I'll just put these on your screen too. Locate the child. Identify the child. Determine whether an unnatural threat is in the area. Remove the unnatural threat and make the outcome appear mundane.
That right there is our specialty.
That's your specialty. That's right. You guys are as mundane as it comes.
The incredibly mundane cover story, I think, in our last operation was trafficked relics from the Congo in a small town.
That's right. I forgot that.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Like,
that was amazing. That was your mundane explanation of what was going on.
We were in Kentucky or Tennessee or something. right?
What's that?
We were in like Kentucky or Tennessee, I think.
Yeah, it was like down
Hot-
south, southern United States.
Yeah.
The,
Oh, yeah.
the premier network of traffic Congolese artifacts.
Yep. So
Nothing could be more mundane.
exactly, it's gonna be no problem tonight. You're gonna have no problem coming up with like a. You guys are experts. Nailed it. We got this mundane stuff down.
We're super subtle.
Now,
This is Agent Janice is the
that's correct. So Agent
Okay.
Janice is your handler. Agent
got it.
Jace is another Delta Green agent, just like you, who's also a child psychologist who works for the FBI. And when she caught wind of this, she immediately flagged it as a potential Delta Green operation. And once it was accepted as a Delta Green operation, what she did then was kind of gum up the gears as much as she could without making it look obvious, trying to slow down the FBI's response to buy Delta Green some time to get in there. Basically, jurisdictional issues is what she was kind of set up to slow things down. Now, Agent Janice tells you that you're going to begin your cover. You're going to go in undercover as FBI agents, and she has like an ID badge for each of you is in another manila envelope. One of the items she slides down the table to you is a dossier or a folder of evidence and materials that they've been able to compile about Brandon McGill, the boy who vanished and then has reappeared and not aged a day. So in your journal, you can open up the Brandon McGill report and take a look at that. And I've got some additional materials here. I'm going to open up an additional handouts for you. And I would just ask the same if you could just open items up as I tell you it's okay to open them up. So now in your journal, you should see handouts and additional handouts. And so you could see there's number 2, Brandon McGill's dossier. You could open up that. And you could open up the Brandon McGill's photo. And those are like the 2 initial things that you could pull up in the additional handouts. But yeah, take a little bit of time. Go through this dossier and then kind of talk to Joe and I about, okay, what is there anything you want to do before you get on the road? Because you're not very far from the park and the station that you need to head to. Trailhead station.
Is there any reports of other people gone missing in this area?
Yes.
Timeline.
You could do like some, again, this is 2017, so like researching online and stuff is pretty easily accessible.
Yeah, I think he'll ask someone to go get like documents for each year for any disappearances, and then he'll sort of go through finally to find like the details of each one. He'll just be like, just give me some find me all the missing people in that area, like the past 20 years in this general area, and he'll like try and comb through like ones particularly near Devil's Chair.
Yeah, so if you open up, because this would be pretty easy to find. You're not going to need to make a roll or anything like this. But if you open up in the additional handouts, if you see academic articles, child disappearances, do you see that one?
Yep.
Go ahead and open that up and just look at like the first, after like the little like explanation page, the first journal article. And that's going to, I think, answer the question you just asked.
40 years.
Yeah, an analysis of 40 years of child disappearances in Yosemite National Park. And it doesn't give you like the full article. It's just that one page, but that abstract that it provides has, I think, the information you're looking for.
Yeah, and the very first thing that we got, the Brandon McGill report towards the bottom, also discusses this.
They didn't read it at all.
I mean, this is one of the things I really love about Delta Green is like it's like trying to figure out the mystery, like what the hell's going on here, and all that, like digging into all these like little like clues and stuff.
So in additional handouts, is it just the first two that we're allowed to look at?
You can
Is
look
that-
at number one, but I would ask you in number one, the academic articles and child disappearances, just to look at that first article,
Okay.
the jaws
Yeah.
of Awani, and
Sure.
analysis of 40 years of child disappearances in Yosemite National Park. And then number two, Brandon McGill's dossier. That's like supplemental to the materials that are in the main handouts, but they're really well done. They're pretty cool how they were designed. And then you got Brandon McGill's just another photograph of Brandon. And so far, that's all. If you could just stop there.
So I think the first thing Jay would want to do is look into this Walter Delio.
Okay.
That long-time retired park ranger who's probably been around for the majority of these disappearances and even Brandon's,
Okay.
I'm guessing. So anything I could find out about that guy, social media, LinkedIn, whatever,
Okay.
anything I could find on him.
So yeah, he
Or
seems to
I
be.
would at least suggest it to the more technically inclined members of the squad.
Yeah, you still got like a flip phone.
yeah, I know, right. I'm not the most brilliant man.
So we know that 24 kids were taken and that some had, high temperature, disorientation, missing clothing, all that kind of stuff. But does any of these documents tell us how many have returned and the time between taking and returning?
That's a good question. None of the documents that you have available have that level of detail, but it probably wouldn't be that hard for you guys to find out, either by trying to gain access to police reports, or even doing like searches of, because like every single one of these children who came up missing would have generated significant like news coverage and articles and things like that. So you'd be able to pull that information together. And what you'd find is there's overall there's a lot of variability, and you don't see any specific pattern.
Right. Or even
the
something further in the historical record. Like I have a colleague in the archaeology, anthropology, history field. I might be able to call her up and be like, "Hey, are you aware of Native American disappearances in this region? Is there a historical record of people disappearing? Like colonial, like I mean, and it might be going too far, but it's Delta Green, and why not spend all day long on minutia that doesn't matter, because that's what we do best."
Yeah. Okay. So you're asking and who's your contact again? Could you remind me?
Cynthia Jones, my friend and colleague in like the anthropological, like historical archaeology sort of
Got it. Boy,
thing.
she's perfect contact for this sort of ask.
Mhm.
All right.
Can I just get a quick question in?
Yeah.
Are we not supposed to be looking at the regular handouts Brandon Gill report yet, or is that also something we can look at?
Yeah. So you're talking just in the plain, the one that's just labeled handouts.
Yeah, and number two is I thought we were given that by Agent
Yes.
Jan.
Yes.
Okay.
The
Because that has
Brandon
like some very direct answers to like what
yes.
some of these people are.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So you could look at the brand number 2. You could look at number 1, Operation Fulminate directives, which I read and shared. They're very straightforward. And then you have the Brandon McGill report. So this is everything that's in the Manila folder that she slides out to you, plus the items from the additional handouts that I said you could look at right now are also in there. And there's overlap. Some of that's the same information, just in kind of a neat, more realistic format.
I think between the two, there's like 58% of them came back over the last 40 years of the total disappearance. And these are limited to just the like, they were there, then they all of a sudden just disappeared, not, people who sort of wandered off in a more expected way. And there's some common denominators that seem to be popping up, like the bad weather and huckleberries.
Yeah. Is there like a religion or a cult or like a civilization that has like huckleberries a significant feature to them?
Go ahead and give me the first roll of the operation here.
What we doing? History, occult?
I think either one would be good. So it's whatever you want to go with. I think either one would be appropriate.
Yeah, both the same. We'll do history. That's a fail.
Remember to mark your failures.
Right, yeah, because you get in between each session we raise those skills.
There you go. First roll failure. Good
Off
old
to
Brit.
a great start.
There's the J squad we know so well.
That's right, the J squad. Good job, J Cell.
Just set the tone for the whole session.
Now,
But I think we're kind of putting the cart before the horse here. I would love to ask Agent Janeth, where's the nearest tiny Fleabag motel? We got to get to the motel first.
yeah, exactly, and examine that bathroom for at least a session.
Every inch of it.
Yeah, every inch. I can see almost like PTSD. I can see you guys being like, like just walking into the bathroom, all of you just armed to the gills, like clear. Yeah, she'll tell you, where like the nearest motel is, but she says, yeah, I just want to stress you have 24 hours at best, 24 hours before the actual FBI comes in and possibly compromises your cover, because they're going to want to know who you are, and they're going to be able to check your credentials very quickly.
And I am Agent Jenkins. I am just determined to seek out the unnatural with, sort of an obsession state. And so in this era of modern technology, can we not go and research? I want to get face to face with whatever's happening, whether it's wise or not, out of character. I would be itching to just be like, which is uncharacteristic. I would usually be a little bit more cautious, a little bit more, let's do some due diligence, but I'm sort of like almost throwing myself at the first hint of the unnatural.
And you guys have smartphones, you could have like tablets, laptops, that stuff's like ubiquitous by 2017. So yeah, you'd be able to research on the run as well. Now, Agent J, your anthropology contact, they're looking into it for you. So a little bit later into the operation, they might be getting back to you with some possible findings.
It's like time is of the essence. It's like something I really need to know as quickly as possible.
Now, remind me, is this one of your bonds that does she still have a good relationship with you? Is it still
well, it's got a score of 9. It only went down once while I was up in the mountain.
So it's still pretty solid. So she's like, been a long time, Jay. Haven't heard from you. Are you okay?
Yeah, I just took some time up in the mountains. get my head together. Life got a little too fast for me, so I had to slow things down and focus on myself for a little bit.
Well, I hope you're able to take care of yourself, Jay. I'll get on this right away and see what I can find.
I appreciate it, Sin. Maybe next time I'm up in New York, we'll meet for drinks.
Well, that'd be nice. I haven't seen you in a really long time. It's good to hear your voice, and it'd be great to see your face.
Yes, ma'am.
As long as it still looks like the image on your character sheet.
I didn't put a picture of him in the chat.
Okay, let's see Joe's classic chat pictures. Let's see. That's awesome. Just living out in the wilderness for a while.
Nice. Yeah, I've been working on one in Mid-Journey while we were fucking around.
That's awesome. All right, so you guys load up now. Agent Janice.
What's our operational sort of like weapons?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, because I was actually Agent
Yeah.
Janice was gonna say, now I don't know what sort of equipment you have on you, but I do have access to a Delta Green warehouse that has limited supplies, including weapons, ammunition. If
Maybe
you
100
need,
pounds of PCP.
yeah, a couple 100 pounds of PCP. It's nothing extravagant, but we could requisition and get you some of the basics that might help you on this operation. What do you think you might need?
Yeah, well, I was going to say those cell phones and tablets sound cool, but yeah, the Arsenal and the Bronco is what we're about.
Yeah, no, they got the Bronco is just sitting out in the parking lot. It's been like cleaned up and everything.
Oh,
It's
wow.
pretty old now, but it's like the same Bronco. little rusty. Suspension isn't quite as good.
Still got the bomb suit sort of.
Yeah, the back still got the bomb suits.
Yeah. Bomb suit.
They're all like dusty. Like a rat living in one.
I mean, I think we should take, if there are like ballistic vests,
Yeah,
sidearm
I
and
think.
maybe shotgun, and I don't know if there's like we're dealing with like AR-15 type stuff, or if we, are limited to pistols. But I think at minimum, pistols and shotguns would not raise too much suspicion out in a park like Yosemite.
Yeah,
Sniper
Agent
rifle.
Janice agrees. Yeah, she agrees that and they would have a variety of handguns. Shotguns would be no problem.
Bear mace.
Yeah, bear.
Bear mace.
You always gotta have bear mace.
Yeah, in every operation, whether it's in a national park or not. Bear
Grenades,
mace.
like smoke grenades and stuff.
Basically what they'd be able to provide you out of this limited warehouse, yes. Basically what a SWAT team might be able to have access to, but kind of anything beyond that would be like military hardware and stuff like that is beyond what this small Delta Green kind of like Black Ops warehouse would be able to provide.
And we want to be, the FBI does not routinely do investigations rolling that hard. That would
Right,
be
yeah.
in the presence of a threat, maybe, but not just doing due diligence.
Yeah.
I guess sort of hunting, sniper rifle, simple
Yeah.
sort of sniper rifle.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. So
Yeah.
just kind of note what gear you're taking, like the bulletproof vests, no problem. The firearms you've described, no problem. Bear mace, like the type of like tear gas or smoke grenades that a SWAT team would use. Those are available.
And those worked
That
out
would-
so well last time we used them.
Yeah. Oh God, it's all coming back to me now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I haven't forgotten.
Oh God, that's good.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I want to say, like a Glock 17 would be the service pistol we probably want to be using for FBI agents, and then like a Remington 870 pump shotgun would probably be pretty normal. I think Agent, are we calling you Agent JC for this?
Yeah,
Owen?
definitely. Let's go. Yeah.
I think it's gonna raise a lot of questions.
He's like, what's
Oh,
wrong
come
with
on,
it?
Beyonce's husband? At this
we've
point
already
in
got-
our timeline,
Especially in 2017.
he's like
Come on,
appeared
someone-
at the White House many times. He's not exactly an unknown.
Oh God.
But
we got
like
Clooney,
a Remington,
we got Clooney in the group.
a Remington 700 deer rifle is like the same
Well,
as
that
a
sounds
sniper rifle.
Sounds cool.
You wanted to have something unobtrusive,
Mm-hmm.
nice optic on it. It's basically a sniper rifle. You can
Nice.
get it at any Walmart, basically.
Yeah, that's scary, but yeah.
I forgot to mention the call also went out to Agent Jasper Jolly, but he
Yeah.
died just a horrible death on actually the second mission after he left your guys' mission. It was, I can't even go into it. It was so
Yeah.
bad.
It was a
Well,
close one.
I'll
The
go
time
into it.
traveler?
What happened to poor Jasper was he got locked in the refrigerated part of an ice cream truck, and that
Oh
was
no.
That
how he
tracks.
went out. Had a fudge pop in his mouth and
Oh damn.
somewhere else, and that's
And
how
no
it
ice cream anywhere else. I think Jubilee, he's just going to take the Kevlar vest, some mace, and his just trusty brass knuckles. He's not good with firearms.
Yeah, I think I'm doing similar. Well, no, I'm taking a gun, a bear mace, and a couple of flashbangs, if that's available.
Is
Yeah, I don't know
Jubilee
how well it-
interested in a melee weapon?
Well, he's only good at unarmed combat. So
Okay,
he's got
gotcha.
brass knuckles, and his strength is -1. So the brass knuckles just give it a flat strength roll.
Let's go.
No, he's the book and talking guy. That's all he is.
Who's the new guy?
Yeah. Yeah, explosives were useful last time, right? So
Yeah, I remember them. They
I know
tried
about flashbangs where I never leave home without them anymore.
Yeah, I remember you
I
tried.
don't think Eric has ever had a flashbang not on his belt since that day.
I think like the most like advanced explosives you'd be able to get from the warehouse would be kind of like like the explosives like SWAT teams would use maybe to blow a door or something like that. You're definitely not going to be able to get like the C4 blocks and stuff like that you were able to gain access to last time. So it's much more like limited in terms of what they have
Maybe just
available
like
in this warehouse.
Like det cord or something. which will
Yeah.
just blow the door.
Yep.
I just remember the last game. The tear gas got dropped at our feet.
That wasn't my fault. That's when the hive mind decided to assert itself.
Yeah.
And I stopped mid throw and it bounced at everyone's feet.
It wasn't me. It was the hive mind. You
It
guys,
totally was the hive mind's fault.
you guys gotta let it go, man. Just let it go.
can we get some kind of night vision binoculars or maybe infrared sights on my hunting rifle?
Night vision scopes and binoculars would definitely be available.
We're only going to be there for 24 hours, Jay.
Just walking in, vest, goggles, like
Well, this is-
bandolier full of like smoke and tear gas grenades.
Right, and we're going there to interview a 6 or 7-year-old boy.
A
6-year-old boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
JC,
but
it's only like a couple hours outside of Yosemite. It ain't Kandahar.
Yeah.
But last time was 24 hours as well, and we know what happened.
What trying to think what sort of a GPS tracker would be. I mean, I don't know that there's anything certainly not as small as like an AirTag, but
Right.
something that you could stick on a vehicle or in a backpack. I think if people are popping in and out, that might be something, even if it's just commercial and we have to buy it, might think about. But if it can't be taken down with plugs from a Remington, I'm not really gonna worry about what happens next.
We could also bring a drone.
Yeah, we
It does-
pre-drone or
Oh, yeah.
kind of
look at
just
that.
about early
Yeah.
early drone, right?
It does look like in 2017 they had GPS trackers. They were about the size of a pager.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Those would be your kind of standard ones. I'm sure government Black Ops had much smaller ones in 2017. But
I mean, I do have a contact, but I've got a general that I could contact, but I don't think he'd be appreciated for. I was just like, hey man, all that special Black Ops tech that you've got? You get something to a Yosemite in about a couple hours. I'll pick it up.
Yeah, so like the warehouse won't have like GPS trackers available, so you'd have to
Yeah,
try and
that's
use
fine.
like your contacts or something else to get a hold of them. Drones were available in 2017, including consumer drones. They weren't anywhere near as like popular or commonplace as they are now. In 2017, there were about 3 million drones sold worldwide. So that gives you a sense of like,
And their
Right.
battery life was terrible back then.
gotcha,
Right.
yeah. So that is probably
Could be useful.
it would be something again. You'd have to
Nope.
try and maybe use a contact, and then hope you could be able to get access to it within less than 24 hours.
And we
Yeah, no,
probably
not,
would not. We would have to put in paperwork to fly it. I bet even
Hey,
on
man, we're the
public land
government.
like that. Yeah, I don't know if the FBI was routinely doing that.
We're with the government. We're here to help.
All right, well, let's get this stuff and load it in the Bronco, huh?
Yep,
Yeah.
the good over. It's like the final member of the team.
Like we never left.
Yep.
Like we never left. But we totally did.
And you
Yeah,
fire
now-
it up, and it's just like, it's just like the muffler shot. It just sounds horrible.
It takes
Anyone have
three
mechanics?
times it takes 3 times as long to get there because we have to stop for gas.
Yeah, it
5 miles.
just guzzles gas.
Jubilee
Sme-
just like really reaches underneath the chair. And he's like, that's where I left my pipe, and just starts.
Yeah,
he
So
starts
is the cat still
open.
in there? Please tell me the cat's still in there.
yeah, yep.
No, the stuffed, it's the stuffed
the
cat,
stuffed
right? My
fox?
stuffed cat?
The fox.
Yeah.
the fox.
Yeah.
multiple
yeah.
litters.
Oh, dear.
But there's
Like
gotta
a
be in there,
Google-
the stuffed cat.
Yeah,
It
the
was like
stuffed fox. Yeah.
Oh, the stuffed fox, that's what it was. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
Googly eyed.
yeah. That's so
Yep,
neat.
the googly-eyed fox is still sitting there, just
I was
kind of moved
wondering
it
where
like
that
a,
go. That's
it's
so
like an old,
went. I just
some old
grab it.
rags and towels, and there it is, still there.
I just grab it and put it in my lap, start stroking it.
Old fox. It's like chunks of its like taxidermied fur just come off in your hands. It's so old. It's been exposed to like the elements.
Oh, this poor
Yeah.
thing. Oh, that's totally going in my duffel.
We are the
Yeah,
best
What's going on with me?
The old Bronco just smells like cigarettes and pain.
And explosives. It feels like explosives and the inside of the doctor and
And there is still like just like sitting in one of the back seats, one of those just old like bomb suits still sitting back there.
probably still blood all over the place.
Yeah, yep. Like people were like, obviously this thing like not too long after you guys finished the operation, this just went into a storage yard somewhere and just sat there for years.
Smells like yesterday.
That's
War never changes.
right. All right.
The parents are they at Yosemite waiting to
No,
talk to the kid?
no, that's a really good question. No, they had to catch a flight into Yosemite, so they're not scheduled. Agent Janice will tell you that it's. Let me see here. Let me pull up my notes really quick. No, they're probably coming into.
I'm making sure I downloaded an app before we head out, about like a survival app, and like your map of Yosemite that I have on file on my phone before we even leave, so I don't have to look for it later.
Excellent. So so they're scheduled. So this is like this is very late, like Saturday night. That you guys are meeting with Agent Janice. And Ian McGill, who's age 63, and his wife Ann, age 62, are scheduled to land at Fresno Yosemite International Airport at about 12:30 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, where they'll most likely rent a car and then, make a beeline straight to the park. So they're not expecting to be at the park until Sunday afternoon. You guys are like, you go to the warehouse with the Bronco, requisition the equipment that you've discussed, and then I assume like hit the road, because now it's like very early Sunday morning, and you want to get there obviously well ahead of the parents.
Right.
Absolutely.
Just to kind of like walk through the whole timeline so far. So Saturday morning, National Park Ranger Tamika Galagos finds a child naked wandering in a huckleberry field near the Hetchy Reservoir, about 2,000 meters from a rock formation known as the Devil's Chair. Uh, she was walking down to a backpacker's camp collecting garbage when she came upon Brandon McGill. The child was coherent, though naked and filthy. He identified himself and asked for his parents. Park Ranger Galagos suspected that the boy was lost from the backpackers' camp. She took him to Rancheria Falls Trailhead Ranger Station and gave him her cell phone. He appeared to be. Well, I'll come back to that later. Galagos spoke with his parents, Ann and Ian McGill, and that's how they discovered that their son had shown up again. And then so
let's get there and
sorry.
talk to him.
Oh yeah, so Saturday mid-morning, Park Ranger Douglas Keena, Galagos' supervisor, calls the Sacramento FBI office, which covers Yosemite, and photos of the child were exchanged via text, and a positive identification was made. But the FBI is baffled. They don't understand what's going on, and that's where Agent Jace learned about this and stepped in, hearing the strange details. She was able to. She called in some favors, causing a jurisdictional dispute with Sacramento over which office will send agents, Sacramento or the national headquarters. So while they're trying to resolve that, you have an opening over the next 24 hours to slip in there and try and figure out what's going on and to resolve this situation before the actual FBI shows up.
Awesome. Can I just say that's a huge book you have there, John. It's almost like Retro
Yeah.
Peter's hand.
Delta Green doesn't mess around, man. I'm barely able to lift this. I'm gonna need an arm sling here soon, just from holding this ginormous Delta Green handler's guide.
That's impressive.
Yeah, they don't play around at all.
You're gonna get tinnitus before long.
Yeah, exactly. Delta Green don't mess.
One with one.
Agent-
We can always. I mean, it's 2017, so we can go to Walmart and get all the flammable stuff we really need, because in the end, fire solves all problems.
Yeah. And their deli has great chicken fingers too.
There's that too. Yeah, I know, right?
Dude. Oh, man.
You guys come out with just like
we can pick up a rotisserie chicken.
yeah.
and-
You guys
and
come
some
out with like
gasoline.
just a whole cart full of nothing but like lighter fluid and matches, and then like
lighter fluid and styrofoam cups,
Yeah.
baby.
yeah, styrofoam cups, and then like a rotisserie chicken. The checkout girl's just like beep, beep, just like
Not even
looking at
thinking
you
about it.
guys.
Ah, dear.
Agent Jackson, I think we should get some like basic like medical equipment and like stuff for blood samples if we're gonna try to do like a paternity test or DNA test, that kind of stuff.
Agreed.
And then I don't know if we have first aid kits in the car, but a couple of those probably. But then I think hitting the road.
Yeah, I kind of assumed I would have first. I added it to my my list: first aid kit and a forensic kit because I had that last time as well. If that
Yep.
works.
Last time it was all about a pregnancy.
yeah. That was crazy. You had to be a obstetrician.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if I would have access to like radiological detection stuff within the context of the FBI cover, but just on the off chance we have like Geiger counters or something.
Well, but that's your job and specialty, right?
Right.
So you would
Yes.
you would have that equipment yourself, and that I
Leave it in
think
the
you would have.
Bronco.
Yeah, you would have been able to bring that like in your luggage or something. I mean, nobody gets suspicious when someone's carried a Geiger counter in their luggage, right?
Not
Never know when I
2017.
need to be able to detect fissionable material.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good game without some radiation.
Exactly.
Are we going to split up when we get there, or are we going to try and keep together all there?
I mean,
Oh,
Now, splitting the party is exactly what we want to do. It worked so well
Yeah.
for us last time.
We can spend 2 places for the same session at least.
Nothing goes wrong when you guys split up. That worked really well in the last operation.
Yeah, I mean, although when we did stick together, we spent like 36 hours in a hotel room. So
That was a pretty intense 36 hours too.
Mhm. I threw a toaster into the bathtub. That was pretty great. I told my buddies about that, and the bathtub toaster is still part of our daily lexicon.
Very nice.